Alright everybody, we are back with another series. It's Team Liquid's CLEM in the bottom right. One of the best Terrans in the world, the #1 Terran in Europe, though Big Gabe does contest him for that title on occasion. A fantastic player. And this is a best of 3 against a surprising opponent. That's right, it's none other than a player who used to go by the name Tesla. Some of you might be more familiar with him for that. Now it is Rob for Root Gaming. Now Rob is actually a full-time software developer who just kind of plays for fun, but does try to keep his level up there. Obviously, he used to compete a little bit more competitively back in the day, and he is from Philadelphia as well, and he comes into this as a huge underdog. But the reason we picked this series, guys, is he's going to show you how to play as an underdog against an overwhelming favorite. Obviously, he is going to cause some problems for CLEM. We did not just pick CLEM up against a massive underdog for no reason, because Rob is a tricky bastard, and he's a very unique player who has some really kind of individual takes on how to play the game. Now already, check it out, guys. Why is he only at 18 supply? Because he built a 12 pylon, a 13 gateway, so he could go the fastest possible cybercore, and he is planning what appears to be a one-base proxy void ray push, one of the dirtiest cheeses out there. And oh, Clem's actually going for the eBay block. Kind of unfortunate for him that he's wasting minerals on something against an opponent that has no plan of expanding. So bad matchup of build orders to start for CLEM, but the advantage here is that you naturally, with this build, delay your command center and you go for a factory. And he comes in now and he's going to confirm he knows exactly what's happening. Sees probes missing, sees double gas. If he paid attention, he definitely saw the probes missing, and he should know that this is not an expand build. He could get a bit more build time on that eBay if he wants, but for now, I think he's going to go scouting and try to find this Stargate. Second gas goes down. It's a pretty quick factory, went down just before a minute 50. The Stargate, though, has also started at a minute 49. That's such a fast Stargate. The Marines scouting the south side, so is the SCV. He's expecting proxy void ray down here because a lot of players like to build the batteries in this area, but he has not checked this pocket just yet. Engineering bay is going to get slowly cleared by this zealot. He's checking the right side. Uh-oh. If he doesn't see this, he could be in big trouble because there's a lot of people out there that do mind games. And look, guys, he's already forgotten to put on his second gas geyser. No, it's not even a mistake. He's pulled off. He thinks it's a fake. So many players have been doing fake one-base proxy void rays, and then they actually just take a Nexus a little bit later and go Phoenix, or they go Oracle Harass into Phoenix. So he doesn't see it. And look at that, he's pulled off gas. He's like, it's fine, I'm just going to build the command center. And he builds it on the low ground. Oh my god. Okay, so Rob coming in with a very unique little pocket that he's proxying. I got proxy there the other day as well. This is the second time in a week I've seen this proxy now, and I think CLEM is never going to get surprised with this thing. He's got to cancel that command center. Already thinking about letting the Adept in, but you don't want to take too much damage, guys. He's going down to fight. You do not want to take damage on these Marines. He's treating this as if this is a light pressure. This is not. There's a void ray coming in, but he still doesn't seem to realize how serious this is. Finally, the command center lands. The depot's there. The Adept goes into the back, though. That's going to do a bit of damage to these Marines, and that's important because there's no way to heal those Marines in this game. The Adept is going to run around and try to get away from those depots already falling. There's no Cyclone out just yet. I feel like that Cyclone should have already been built, but here we go. Okay, Cyclone's out. And remember, guys, because he pulled off gas for so long, he cannot afford a starport. He locks onto the Zealot, not the most useful target to lock onto there. And this is all going to buy time for the shield batteries to get up. The depots have fallen. He's building more depots in the back, but he's in big trouble right now. He locks onto the Void Ray. He wants to maintain vision to get damage, but he's got to be careful because Void Rays can turn on prismatic alignment and kill Cyclones very quickly. Second Cyclone starts up, as does Magfield. It's a very slow upgrade, though, and oh my god, Void Rays is so bullshit. It's that leash range and their ability to glide and shoot. So for those who don't know, a Void Ray has 6 range, but it actually has 8 leash range. So once it starts attacking, if you run away, you need to get 9 range away to actually stop it attacking you to break its beam. Losing that first Cyclone is an effing disaster. And remember, this game was probably played in the EPT NA Weekly. It was, in fact. So it's probably played on the Central US server, which means a little bit of lag for CLEM. And losing that first Cyclone when you already don't have a starport, this is a disaster. And this all comes back to the fact that he misread this scenario. He should have counted the probes in the base at the start. This is a scouting misstep from CLEM, and it's Rob using a very unique proxy location to get some advantages. Now, let's be real. This is a dirty, cheesy build, but Rob has done it very well. And he's not giving CLEM any room to get back into this game. Watch out. No, you can't lose that. Oh, he gets it out of there. Wait. Oh, you freaking psycho. He just goes right past. Okay, he does lose a Void Ray. The Cyclone goes down, though. I think Rob is happy to trade a Void Ray for a Cyclone because there's so few. There's only one Cyclone out again now. Remember, there's no other production facilities. He's just building Marines one at a time. Losing that Cyclone was a disaster. The choice to sack that, well worth it for Rob there. He's rotating that Void Ray around the left side, getting it back in position. And look at this, guys. He started Warp Gate and 3 more gateways. So he's saying, look, okay, yeah, I'm building Void Rays, but guess what? I'm just going to make a bunch of Stalkers and Adepts as well. And even if you get enough Marines and Cyclones to deal with the Voids, are you going to deal with Stalkers and Adepts on the ground as well? And this is it. Okay. Oh, the Cyclone gets locked on. Oh, man. These choke points, you've got to keep the Cyclones away from your Marines. This is the mistake. Yeah, when you keep it in the open, it doesn't get blocked. But if you let it get caught, no! He's dead. He's dead. At this point, Clem is beyond tilted. It is such a narrow margin between getting the lock on and barely escaping their beams and just getting caught and killed. And it's always been the getting caught and killed. And I got to tell you guys, as someone who regularly plays with 150 to 200 ping, I'm feeling Clem's pain right now playing cross-server against this build. One mistake early often spirals into an absolute shitfest of disaster. And that's what this game is right now. Nice lock on, but look, he's so afraid of the Void Rays turning around, he can't chase. Whereas if you've got 3 or 4 Cyclones, you lock onto every Void Ray right now. Those Void Rays can't chase away from batteries, man. They're going to be really worried. But look at that, he's only getting like 2 ticks off on each one of these Cyclone locks. Void Rays are still stacking up. That Void Ray that he ran away through the main, that's the Void Ray that dived for the Cyclone Snipe earlier. He's actually forgotten about it. It's up there to the top right. Rob, very excited. Clem is one of the best players in the world, and Rob, a full-time software dev, who's a pretty darn good player. He's a Grandmaster, but he's not meant to take a map off Clem here. And so he is a little bit excited. Warp Gate's about to finish. He's still building more batteries. The Void Ray's coming forward. 5 Void Rays there. That 6th Void Ray up to the top. Still being forgotten about. Another Cyclone gets blasted. And at this point, Clem's no doubt throwing his hands up in the air, in disgust, going, fine! His first Viking pops out at 7 minutes. It was meant to be here about 3 minutes ago. But of course, pulling off gas to drop the command center, thinking it was actually a fake all-in and actually an expand after not finding the proxy, Clem misread this early game. And as a result, was not focusing on the right things in the early stage. You add on top of that his first Cyclone getting sniped, and then his second one, and it was all downhill from there. Rob cheeses him out in game 1. Down, but not out. Angry. Fueled by rage. This is Team Liquid's Clem in the top right of Glittering Ashes. This is only a best of 3. This is early stages in a tournament, guys. He is not meant to be doing, to be getting eliminated this early, but one more loss would do it. He's got to win the next 2 in a row. And he probably should be able to do it, unless his opponent can surprise him again. Down here in the bottom left, it's Root Robbie. Now, Rob, as I said, used to go by Tesla. He's a very good player, but this is still a hard ass, man. Taking another map off Clem. You've used your sneaky build. You can see this time Chronoing Probes, building a more standard 16 gate rather than 13 gate. It's going to be a bit more of a standard play to at least start off the game. And we'll see what his special sauce is going to be. As I said, Rob is a player who, I mean, he's done some funny things, right? Like mass stasis trap versus Zerg and versus other races where he's like, oh yeah, I open up with like 4 oracles for harassment and then I cover the map in stasis traps. Like, he's done all sorts of weird things over the years. He's figured out a lot of weird strategies. And definitely one of the things that he's going to be doing is not playing completely stock standard versus Clem. I can't imagine he's doing that. He's probably going to cut a corner here or there, look for an advantage. That being said, Clem is going for an exceptionally safe double gas build. Is this too safe? Some people might argue. Maybe. I'm not completely convinced one way or the other because these one-base builds have become so common. He's going to be scouting with his SCV, and when he sees this Nexus, it is, of course, Cybercore into Nexus. I think he's just going to be thinking, maybe pull off gas, go for the command center. So he sees it. Do we pull off gas? Pulls 1 off to build the factory. Pulled another 2 off if he wants to go command center. No, it looks like he wants to go for a pretty quick starport. Okay. Maybe even build a second Reaper here as well. Could be the way to do it. Ooh. SCV's getting tagged by the probe. Oi. Oi. Reaper says, oi, you. Cheeky little shit. Clem, hello? Okay, he does go. I was like watching the probe, waiting for it to die. Ooh, bunker harass. Oh, that's a nice way to start things off. Rob's going Adept as well. Adept, not the most perfect unit. You definitely want to get a Stalker as your second unit in this scenario. And that bunker just outside of Rob's vision. Rob goes for a very quick second gate. It's a bizarre build. Rob just doing a Rob special, I guess. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to build a second gate. Why? What's that for? I wonder. I guess it's just because he's up against a one base opening from his opponent. Yeah, he didn't get in So it could be like a one base Hellion drop proxy. Okay, that makes sense. This way you can just get out 5 or 6 Stalkers by about 4 minutes 10 rather than 4 minutes 30. And that means that you're ready for the really fast one base attacks. So this is just a really safe way of playing. You could still add a Twilight or a Robo or a Stargate after the second gateway. I'd say Twilight's the best transition in this scenario. So for now, unable to mine. So he just oversaturates the main base for now, keeps building probes. And as the Stalker comes out and this shield battery finishes, he can just fight head on. So the Reapers don't want to lose those, Clem. Be careful, mate. Ooh, we get some good damage done on the Adepts. Almost kills the shield battery as well, funnily enough. Hellion's going to drive by into the main. Ooh, okay, so the Reapers can finish the shield battery off now. Oh, this is really cute play. Very cute. Nice probe pull, though. Adept will finish it off. Well defended by Rob. The Reapers take out the shield battery, and they're going to get back in the bunker. This is a lot of damage, a lot of lost mining time. A third Reaper comes in, and another Hellion.
I want you to fall in my bed like rain. Like when it's...
Thank you very much for the sub there, mate. Appreciate that one. Give you guys proper shout-outs after the game. Hellion does go down. The Adept falls. The Stalker falls. Oh, this is sick. Another Reaper does go down. I mean, I don't think you can kill that Stalker. Maybe get a probe and then leave. If you stay for more than one probe, you will lose these Reapers. You gotta leave. Oh, he's gonna get out. Run. Oh, he's going to the bunker. Oh my god. Okay, Clem, this is so greedy at this point. But there's no shield battery, so yeah, it's gonna be expensive to clear it out. Behind this, Clem's Orbital is morphing. Feels like that's maybe a little slow to morph. Starport with a Tech Lab Factory builds a Cyclone. The Cyclone just a general safety unit here in case, I guess, there's a Proxy Oracle to counter or something like that. Oh, he might even get a probe. And you know what? You can unload at this point and try to throw a grenade and kill a probe. That's absolutely what he should be doing right now. He's going to get one probe. And there we go. He does get just one probe on top of the previous one, which went down. Stalkers took a lot of damage. A great early game set of trades here. You might look at the units lost up and go, isn't that good for the Protoss? You got to remember the lost mining time, though. Terran has been mining more for the last couple of minutes in this game. Cyclone, unfortunately, doesn't lock onto one of the weak Stalkers. Unable to get the kill. I would have loved him to run to the high ground there. He could have killed a Stalker. Ah, Clem, you got to use the high ground, buddy. That's one of the best features on this map is these little high grounds that look over the site blocker. Marines and tanks are coming down. Blink is on the way. So it is 3-gate Blink here, but I feel like Rob's early game's been kind of crap, and he can't feel too good about this. Equal workers on both sides. It looks like Clem's back in the situation where he wants to be. And putting pressure on an opponent, it's a surefire way to deal with a cheesy opponent, but ooh, an uncharacteristic mistake does lose the Cyclone there. It's nice micro for Rob, who did not lose any more Stalkers in that. Takes away a bit of the mobility of Clem. But yeah, as I was saying, it's a surefire way against a guy who's cheesed you and done some cheeky bullshit. Put on some aggression. It doesn't have to be all in aggression, but as Clem, you want to interact with Rob as often and as frequently as possible, because that's going to allow you to exert the fact that you are faster and you are better as a player. And Rob would not argue that. I don't know if Rob's out there watching this or later or right now, but I'm pretty sure he'd know. He'd be like, yeah, he's a lot faster than I am. He can multitask better than I am. And perhaps realizing that, the Dark Shrine is going to go down there as well. Blink is going to finish up. Observer is on the way as well. Third base coming on up. Warp Prism's going to go for... He's going to go straight for a DT drop. It's a little whiles away. Going for charge as well. This is a forgeless play so far. And the worker count feels kind of crap for Rob. I really want to see him hold that worker count down. He's doing a bit of a Korean style here where he's trying to skimp on the probes. He does start them up at the moment. Just because he wants his gateway started. I think he's worried about Clem's 3-racks attack, which will be hitting very hard. So he wants to get... There we go. 5 gateways on top of the 3 that exist. That's going to take it to 8 gates. Marine will come in, but still 47 probes. These gaps in the probe production are really bad. You cannot have gaps in probe production when you're already behind like this. You want to be fully saturating this third the moment it comes up. That being said, Clem is dawdling. What do I mean by that, guys? I mean, he's gone for a Cyclone, a tank, and a Raven, and that's delayed his stim and shields and his +1 weapons a long time. His starport has not started building medevacs yet. So he could already be out on the map roaming around with a double drop of Marine Marauder, kind of scaring Rob and making him paranoid. As it is, it's going to be a very slow move out. And the third command center does come in now, but definitely going to have to commit to a push. And you know what? 30 seconds from stim, shields, about a minute from +1. I think start 2 medevacs and move out the moment those medevacs are popping. It's going to be kind of the go timing here for Clem. Does build a turret on his natural. Observer wants to come on in. The Raven sees it. Got to go get that, buddy. Marine runs into the base. I don't think that killed anything. 4 probes have gone down this game from the early pressure. The Raven's probably going to hunt that down. You know what? This Observer's doing a great job. Jailbait Observer lures the Terran out of position And if anything's going to prompt you to go in with your DT drop, that's it. Look at that. The army's all out front the base. DT drop comes in. Ah, this is a dirty move from Rob. 4 DT drop hitting at the 7-minute 40 mark. It's a kind of surprising maneuver. And look at that. A bit slow to pull the SCVs, a little slow to react here is CLEM. Surprisingly slow, one could say. His tanks were all sieging down the front. I think he was getting ready to establish a third base. Maybe playing a little bit scared against the guy who surprised him in game 1. And look at that. Stalkers run forward. He gets 1 tank, 2 tank. He will get tank number 3. He's going to lose quite a lot of Stalkers for it. Was that worth it? Well, yeah, he only lost 4 Stalkers. At the end of that, a lot of them were damaged, but he only lost 4 of them. And the Marines try to punish here and chase them down. They do another stim, but CLEM getting a bit too horny there, trying to chase down the opponent. He's the one who should have been running away with that handful of Marines. And Rob actually gets a fantastic trade out there. CLEM is triggered. He just lost 3 tanks for a couple of Stalkers. Then he lost a bunch of extra Widow Mines, Marines and a Widow Mine. This is a very shitty start to that push for CLEM, who's got to be feeling impatient right now. He's not building a Viking. His Raven did not follow the Prism, which means it's going to get a chance to redrop. CLEM is falling apart right now. And Rob, look at the way he's being so annoying with these Stalkers. They're still out there. They're still picking away at him, just distracting him and buying time. DTs go in, kill another 7 SCVs. The Zealot Stalker army gathering at home. And look at this Stalker count. 13 Stalkers. Rob plays such a heavy Stalker style. He goes mass Blink Stalkers in the mid game. I forgot that he does this. Such a powerful style, though. And a lot of Zealots do get hammered by the Widow Mines. He's going to drop DTs on the army. Blink forward. Remember, CLEM already lost so many units. Those Stalkers do get taken out on the disengage, which is kind of nice, but with so many Stalkers, you can hunt him down. It's not like when you're chasing your opponent with just 4 or 5 Stalkers. Rob's like, my whole army can chase you down, dude. It's a scary force to fight against, and he's going to chase down both of those medevacs on the left side. CLEM has got to gather up his forces and get his shit together, because this Stalker count, 17 Blink Stalkers hunting him down on the map. They go right after the Raven. The Archons morph there, though. Oh, that was a rough engagement. Rob, always horny with his Stalkers, always looking to push the envelope and see if he could take a fight where other players wouldn't, but he loses his Prism. His Stalkers are going to have to get out of there. He's going to try and take out some of these units as he disengages, but because he's already taken down so many medevacs, there's little healing here for CLEM. And he's just, okay, now he builds more Zealots. Finally investing in the nice, cheap, efficient unit rather than the more expensive, fancy unit. Rob does blink back at the last moment to dodge a Widow Mine, only cops the splash damage. Zealots come in. CLEM, what are you doing this far out of the map? You need to go home. But remember, guys, CLEM is best known as a Terran player who likes to attack. He does not like to defend. If you make him defend, he gets angry, and then he just attacks more. He just tries to always reassert control over the matchup. And the thing is, these Stalkers are so aggressive. They're constantly looking like they're going to overstep. And what happens when they overstep? Remember, each Stalker is 175 resources. It's almost as valuable as 4 Marines. So if he blinks forward and then suddenly you turn and stim and kill 6 Stalkers, it's like killing 20 Marines. Even over that. It's actually crazy. Like the amount of value you get from killing a handful of Stalkers and they crumble to stim Marauders and Marines is actually huge. So CLEM here, he's kind of getting baited into it. The thing you got to watch for is Rob does not ever just have 5 or 6 Stalkers out there. He has 17 Stalkers. And he's a little bit wild with the way he does it. Most players won't do this. They'll say the Stalker phase is over. I need to go Mass Zealot. I need to go Storm and Colossus. I need splash damage or Zealots, things that just perform reliably. CLEM panics and kills a Marauder there. Accidentally kills a Marauder. Zealots run in from the left. Stalkers blink forward, but they bait the units over, allowing the Zealots to do a bit more damage. He's trying to shift click on those SCVs where he can, but it looks like CLEM does defend this wave quite well. CLEM has got a 4th command center on the way versus the Protoss, who's only up 8 workers. Rob, he's going double Forge, and he's going Robo-Bay now. Very, very delayed transition, but he might be able to get there. He is way down in supply. The Stalkers, though, are just buying him time. It gets very hard to judge where you are in the game when the Stalkers are this aggressive. Does lose a few more of these units. And CLEM, I think he's getting a little triggered at this point. Okay, does get one of those Stalkers with the Widow Mine. He's going to try and split some Marauders to flank this, but the Stalkers see him setting up the flank. He was hoping to get him to blink back into those Marauders. Rob at this point says, screw it. He's going to try and deal with this. I'm just going to recall home. CLEM sees him recall. It's just mass Stalkers and Zealots. This is such a wonky army, because if you just have enough Marine Marauder, I'm telling you, Marauders slay this army so hard. Stalkers just do shit damage for their stats. Now, he's adding Colossus 2 at a time, and that could be huge, because if it is just Ghost Bio Mine, well, guess what? Stalker Colossus does not care about Widow Mines. The Widow Mines need to either stop being built at this point, or they need to just be used for drops. They're not going to be effective in frontal fights unless there's a big clump of Zealot Archon running into them. And that's a very different scenario. He also needs Vikings. He's queuing up Liberators right now. Clem does not realize that there is a Colossus transition because he scanned the missing gas on this base. He thinks he's playing versus pure Zealot Stalker. He's in for a nasty surprise as those Colossus show themselves. And here we go. He thinks about going forward. Not a good idea. Not with battery overcharge especially. Nice blink back at the very last second there. And you can see the way Rob here is just baiting out those Widow Mines. As I said, Widow Mine's no longer effective. Now, Clem was not born yesterday. He immediately pauses Widow Mine production. He's like, okay, build Vikings. And he should really be focusing on Marauders and Ghosts. Just a handful of Ghosts to EMP the army, but then mostly Marauders from there. You don't want to go too heavy on the Ghosts because you actually need things to kill these units. And it's a mostly armored army. Ghosts don't do that much damage to it. Ghosts do double damage to light. Marauders, on the other hand, do double damage to armored. So it's a very clear answer compositionally. And you've got a fourth. So Clem is still looking pretty good in that scenario. That being said, fourth base finally gets found. It's an uncharacteristic fourth base, which is why it took Clem so long to realize this was down here. He's going to try to push forward. His army looks very small right now. He's got a lot of units coming across the map, and he doesn't have the Viking count yet. I do like that. Sniping a Zealot's always cute. Oh, get out of there. Okay, he's a little bit far forward though right now. Remember, the Stalkers can always pounce on you. You do not want to get caught too far out on this map. He's going to send a Zealot there to take that one. And we'll take the next Widow Mine. Does clear out another Zealot. The Vikings still only building 2 at a time. There we go, 3 at a time. He has finally built a starport on the reactor's factory. The factory's reactor. The reactor's factory. The factory's reactor. Does the add-on own the building, or does the building own the add-on? Who knows? Okay, that's just silly. No one should ever build 33 Blink Stalkers. There is no justification for building 33 Blink Stalkers. What the hell? Okay, this is insane. Amazing flexibility with this army. He can maneuver well. It shoots up, it shoots down. But raw stats, these Stalkers suck ass. That is, I don't know how else to say it, guys. I mean, I guess they're both maxed out. Or he's actually maxed out. Clem's not. Actually, that's huge. Clem's building a 5th command center, 3 Vikings, and the Ghost upgrade. He doesn't have them yet. This army does not look that big right now. He's got a lot of supply tied up in medevacs. The Viking count's kind of low. He gets caught out in a bad situation. The Mass Stalker, as I said, it can always pounce on you. It's very hard to run away from Mass Stalker because Rob is just going to blink in your face and chase your army down. This plays out so differently to other armies. The Raven arrives, drops some auto turrets. It's going to hold back Rob for a moment. More EMPs landing. There was barely any shields left in this army anyway. He needs more Marauders and Vikings. And honestly, I think Clem needs to pull back right now. Those Colossus are still such a threat. And look at this. The Stalkers just blink forward. Whenever you're low on units, the flexibility of those Stalkers, their ability to pick fights that other armies might not take is just absolutely astounding. He jumps on top, and Robbie Mother Truckin' Plata Tesla God brings the North America Mass Blink Stalker style, which Clem has probably never played against because Rob's the only guy that does that, into the late game. Clem gets caught with his pants. Now, we've got to watch that final fight one more time because definitely it's just this point where Rob kept things simple and Clem was trying to cover all of his bases. So check this out, right? He goes double Forge, but he doesn't even start 3-2. Forge is idle. Forge is idle, okay? Not only that, yeah, he takes a 5th base, but it's very late. He never went very high on workers. He's only on 67, so he never went into the 70s or 80s. And he's just maxed on 9-gate, Stalker, Zealot, Colossus with a couple of balls backing it up. Such a basic army. Whereas if we look at what Clem's doing, and definitely Clem took some kind of awkward fights down here and so on before this, and definitely, you know, overextended. He's going double eBay Armory, which is not going to kick on in for a long time. Enhanced Shockwaves, not kicking in time. He's also built 8 Ghosts and is building 3 more. And this is objectively the wrong call. And I pointed out earlier why. He needed Marauders. All you need is 3 or 4 Ghosts to EMP these Stalkers, and that's all you need to do. If you add 5 or 6, that's cool, that's nice. But going heavy Ghosts like this does not make sense against a Mass Stalker Colossus player. Now, I don't think Clem realized at any point he was going to keep massing Stalkers. He's like, okay, this guy's a bit heavy on Stalkers, he's a bit YOLO with them, but he's going to have to swap to basically Immortals, Zealots, Disruptors, Archons, and that's where Ghosts are obviously fantastic. No, you needed more Marauders, because he only has 9 Marauders here. He's got 8 Ghosts. Like I said, 6 is more than enough. If he had an extra 3 Marauders instead of those last 3 Ghosts, and then these were 3 Marauders building, and if he got a few more Vikings up, because he's at 8 Vikings, right? But he's only got 4 in the fight when it starts down here. So this is all a bit of a disaster for Clem, who's caught down in a supply, building things like a 5th command center, building all these fancy tech things. And really what he needed was 3 more barracks with tech labs ASAP and just a lot more Marine Marauder, and to spread them out before the fight started so the Colossus wouldn't do so much impact damage. Get the Vikings together as well and kill the Colossus a little bit earlier. And then he absolutely could have done it, because if you get rid of the Colossus, you can pull SCVs to tank as well. Stalker's very bad versus that. And remember, these Stalkers are so expensive, and look how fast they die when they're EMP'd to Marauders. It's just that they outnumbered the Terrans so much, but look at how fast these valuable units die. And this is why it feels bad to use Mass Blink Stalker, and it's why I would not recommend it. But holy shit, is it an army that can chase the Terran down so he can't run away? Fantastic play by Robbie here. A really cool style. And let's remember, this game started off with him going to Dicktown. He had a bunker in his base. He had Reaper Hellion killing multiple probes, denying him from mining off his natural for the first 4 minutes of this game. But he actually came back and fought really well from a pretty not great situation. And I've got to give props to one more thing. And this is honestly really worrying for CLEM, guys, because CLEM is going to be playing, I believe he's in a group with Scarlet and a few other really good players. And the thing is, what did he get caught out by in this game? One of the big turning points was the North American Dark Templar drop. So guys, what's a North American Dark Templar drop? Well, a Dark Templar drop is meant to hit at about the 5-minute mark, the 4-minute 30 mark, somewhere around there. But Robbie Mother Truck and Plata comes in with the North American timing. Now remember, an NA timing is basically where within the meta of established pro play and efficient play, you hit at a certain timing. In this case, 3 minutes before this. Robbie comes in so fucking late, you would never think a DT drop would come in at this moment. And so Clem's caught completely off guard. And then it comes in for another wave in a moment as well. It's so late that it catches him off guard. And that's actually the thing, is this is obviously not his opening build, the DT drop, but it's something he added in while doing a Blink Stalker Zealot kind of macro play, right? So as much as I'm making fun of it, it's just a delayed DT drop time, which is a little surprising. But Clem fucked up. Guys, that Prism flew into his base and he didn't react until the DTs were unloading and there was no other distractions going on. And then he let it drop and kill another 7 SCVs. And then he did this attack. After, remember, he just got a bunch of tanks picked off out front. That was a great dive by Robbie. Robbie's Blink Stalker dives were the secret to success. And that kind of, I really feel that Clem went off the deep end after that Blink Stalker dive. Pairing that up with the DTs in the back was actually so sick. So check this out, guys. So let's watch this whole sequence one more time. And I want to point out the beauty of this and how frustrating this was for Clem. Because first of all comes the jailbait observer. So this observer is twirling a lollipop in its lips and it's pretty scantily clad. It's going, hey boys, oh, ooh, do you want to play? Whole Terran army's like, dah, observer, So the observer lures them all out, and then the prism goes in, but not just that, look at this. Okay, so it was 2 tanks that died, not 3, but look at that. Runs forward, gets a tank, gets another tank. And what I really wonder here as well, I'm really curious, is did these Stalkers have a control group, or was that just an F2? I think it was actually a control group. I think this was a purposeful move. And then Clem gets really triggered, chases with the Marines, which makes no sense. There's as many Marines as there are Stalkers, buddy. So he loses those guys as well. And to follow up with this, even at this point, because he had such a good start, if he just fixed up his play and didn't take any more bad fights, he'd be good. But what does he do, guys? The Stalkers, Rob's like, Hey, Clem, I'm gonna trigger you with my Stalkers. My Stalkers are annoying. Lol, 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 lol. And so this triggers Clem even further, distracts him. And what happens whenever he's distracted? Rob comes in with the DTs. And then Clem's super triggered that he just let that mistake happen. So now he just like runs up the ramp in total disarray and just gets jumped on. Like, look at the exquisite engagement from Rob. What does he do, guys? He attack moves and he unloads Dark Templar on the army and then he blinks forward. This is a fight I could pull off, but it's because Rob's set himself up so well that he literally has the joy of going, I can't believe you're still committing into this attack. This makes no sense. But Clem is triggered at that point. He's impatient, he's angry, and he's wanting to get revenge rather than focusing on making the correct play. He even loses those medevacs on the retreat. I mean, this was a fantastic turnaround of a very rough early game for Rob. And for Rob, who's going to be robbing one out. Oh, Jesus. This was a robbery. Oh, God. How many puns did I miss in this cast? I can't believe it. God damn, I could have gone dirty. I could have talked about robbery. Sorry, guys. I'm going to retire. I got to hang up my hat. Thanks for watching. And shout out to Rob for 2-0 Clem. This may be a rough situation and a bit of bad news for Clem going into Katowice. But I still think, you know what? I think he's not going to make these mistakes in the big show at the World Championships. So I've still got my eyes glued on how he pulls it out. GG's.